Hi guys, welcome back to another video here on my channel. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment if you guys have any questions, anything you'd like to see on the channel. Today we're going to be going over some phrases you'll hear at the racetrack, and then the track procedure as well, how most tracks would do it. So, to start this off, I do want to talk about our merchandise that's going to be dropping. It is a ways away, but it is still important. On May 28th is going to be our first drop for merchandise, 40% off, Monday through Monday, so from Memorial Day Monday until the following Monday after, or whenever it runs out, the sale will be done. And then July 2nd, we're going to be having a special limited edition merchandise event. We're gonna have a special American paint scheme for our 4th of July weekend on the racetrack. So that's what is going to be on the car. It's going to be a limited edition, so once it runs out, it's out. 50% of the profits will go to a non-profit. So check that out. And then, like I said, that'll be dropping July 2nd. So still a ways away, but just so you guys do know, you guys will be able to pre-order that in June. So now, track procedure. You're going to show up to the track, right? And usually the first thing is mud packs / hot laps. This isn't really a thing for some of the smaller classes. It's just 2 quick laps. You go as fast as you can. It's basically or not as fast as you can. It's like half pace. We go out in groups most of the time, and you just kind of get the track packed in, get the water out, and so if it starts off greasy, then you'll have a nice racing condition by the time practice rolls out. And then next we're gonna have practice. Some tracks don't have practice all the time. I know the track that we go to doesn't have practice all the time. There are special practice events, but it does not always have practice. But that's basically, you just go out for 15 minutes or so, and you just practice running your groove and all that. And then you're gonna have qualifying. Usually, sometimes it'll be group qualifying, where it'll be number of cars. You just do quick 5 laps, and then you're done. The good thing about group qualifying is you can get through qualifying a lot faster. The bad news is you have other cars to go around during qualifying. Also for qualifying, sometimes they'll just go off of your hot lap time, and sometimes they'll go off of you do a pill draw, which is you'll go in a bucket, you'll grab a pill or a frisbee or whatever, and that's whatever number you draw is what number you go out as, or what group you go out with. The reason for this is if you go out early and the track is greasy, it's going to be slower, but if you go out late and it's tacky, it'll be faster, but it'll also be a little bit tighter. So then you're going to do your heat races based on your qualifying time. Heat races will set up the feature events. It's usually just 5 to 10 laps with 5 to 8 cars maybe. I haven't seen a whole lot of heat races with more than 8 cars. Then you're gonna go into your features. We have a B main and an A main. Some of your bigger events, such as Chili Bowl. I don't know how many feature events they have, but I'm pretty sure they went down to a J main. I could be wrong, but the A main is the one you want to be in. All the other feature events, it's like top 2 qualifier for the next feature, and then you just keep moving up until you have, like, on the B main, it's like 4 people qualify for the A main. But then they all start in the back of the pack. So now we're going to go over your track conditions. First, you have slick. That is when the track you're going to be sliding a lot more. It's going to take a lot less. Your car will typically be looser. Say if you're just running a baseline setup, it'll be a little bit looser. and you're going to have more mud coming up. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit more. And it's typically not going to be that dusty. Then we got tacky. Your tires are going to stick a little bit more, so you'll have a lot more straightaway speed. That's what a lot of people like tacky racing, is what I've heard. I don't really care. Typically, there's not a whole lot of mud for tacky, but you're able to brake and accelerate a lot faster because you have a lot more grip. And then you have greasy. This is when it's really muddy. Something just happened to my lights. It's going to be really muddy. You're going to be sliding a lot, and usually it's pretty slow. You're going to have a lot of mud flying too. And some parts of the track will be wet just because it's not worked in, or some parts will have, sometimes it'll be puddles, and sometimes it'll be really dusty, just depending on how well it's worked in. Lastly, rubber down. This is usually towards the end of the night. You can see really well with red tracks is you'll see the top lane will be red, and then the bottom half will be kind of like a blackish. What it is taking rubber off your tires. It's gone past the tacky state, so the tracks will go from, sometimes it'll start at greasy, sometimes it'll just start off at slick, then it'll go tacky, and then towards the end it'll be rubber down. You have optimal grip at rubber down. The bad thing about rubber down is you'll take rubber from your tires. Your tires won't last as long, but it's typically a whole lot faster. So if you were to ask a lot of people would say either tacky, or some will say slick, some will say rubber down. Not a whole lot of people like greasy, especially in 4 cylinders, because you limit on horsepower anyways. Greasy will just slow you down a whole lot more. Now we'll just be going through some words you'll be hearing. You have bump and run. This is more common in street stock 4-cylinder, some of the lower classes. You won't do it a whole lot in sprint cars just because it's open wheel. But basically you'll bump their rear end with your nose, and usually it'll get them off their line, so you can go around them a lot easier. A lot of people will call us dirty racing. That's racing. It's just a way to get your car to the front. You got to do what you got to do. And then there's the groove. You'll hear a lot about this. Basically, it's just the way that you take around the track. Whether it's always being towards the top of the track, whether it's being at the bottom of the track all the way around, whatever it is, just the way that you get around the track. Then there's dirty air. Usually, you don't hear a whole lot about this in dirt track, but you will hear it some. You'll hear it a lot more on asphalt. But if there's a car in front of you, the aerodynamics of that car is going to mess up the air. It's going to create more turbulence on your nose, especially on front-wheel drive and street stock. If you can get out to the clean air, it'll help you a lot. That's why you usually see the front car pull away so fast. It's because they have clean air and nobody's messing it up. And you'll even see when the second place guy comes and starts gaining on the leader, you'll see the leader kind of move his lane a little bit, trying to create a little bit of turbulence for that second place guy, trying to slow him down. Sometimes people call it dirty racing, trying to create dirty air for someone, but you know what? If it's coming down the last laps, I can completely understand the leader doing that. He's probably trying to pay some bills, and sometimes it's whether you win or not, whether or not you keep doing it. So we got drafting. 4 cylinders, you'll do it a lot. You'll come right up against the back bumper of another driver, and you'll try and get in their slipstream, and then right as they come off the turn, you'll dip down below them, and you'll be behind them. They're cutting the air in front of you and causing it to go around you better, So you won't be on the gas the whole time. Well, they will. So when they come off the turn and they're just getting back on the gas, you can get on the gas sooner and go around them, and you'll have a whole lot more extra horsepower than they will to get around them. So usually that's a late race move. Usually last 2 or 3 laps you'll see that happen if they're tight together in front. Then you got loose and tight. Basically, if your car's loose, it's going to want to, the rear end's going to want to come around to the front end of the car as you're turning. And then tight is basically when the front end doesn't want to steer, doesn't want to turn. You're going to have to slow down a lot if you want to turn it, or you're just going to have to really wrench on it. And then your car will slide up the track more. Some guys will like it loose, some guys will like it tight. It's just preference. But those are some keywords that you'll hear a lot in our videos. But then we'll go over our flags. We got a green flag. That basically means go. Usually when you get caution on the restart, it's basically saying the race is resumed, go back to race speed. White flag, last lap, 1 to go. You'll probably hear that over the receiver too if you're one of the lapped cars. Checkered, end of the race. Whoever gets that flag, whoever crosses that flag first is the winner. That's pretty self-explanatory. Yellow, basically something happened, whether it's caution, someone blew a tire. There's just so many lapped cars. That'll happen too sometimes. Basically, it means slow down to maybe about a third, quarter of your speed, and it's rough. It's usually about 30 miles an hour, 30 to 40. But it basically means just slow down, watch out for anybody, and just wait for the track to clear, and then you'll restart the race. Sometimes they'll count yellow flag laps, sometimes they won't. I know for the races that we go to, they don't count yellow flag laps, but some of the endurance races might. Then we got a black flag. Not a whole lot of people get these. You'll get them a whole lot more in endurance. They'll be flying more, but basically if there's something wrong with your car that's creating a danger, say your bumper's loose or whatever. If you got a loose bumper, I know they will black flag you, or Nerf bar or whatever. Or even if you're just being a danger to everybody, they might black flag you for that. Basically means you have a penalty, whether it's dropping back a few positions or you're out of the race completely and you DNF. Or you go laps down. Sometimes that'll happen too. They'll put you a lap or 2 down. And then our last flag is our red flag. That basically says stop, just hit the brakes, put it in neutral, and wait for them to clear the track. Usually, if the track is blocked, they'll put on a red flag, and then it'll go from red, and then they'll go to yellow. They'll do a couple pace laps, and then they'll go back to green. So, red flags don't happen too much, thank goodness, but they are nice for some of the longer races, such as endurance races. It is nice to, when you do get a red flag, if it's not for you, it'll be nice because it's a time to relax, get a drink, whatever. Sometimes you can get out of your car too if it's long enough. It just depends. So that is basically it for this video. If you guys have any questions or anything you'd like to see, put it down in the comments below. There's some videos that I was kind of questioning whether or not you guys wanted to see them, so I'll put that in the description below. You guys let me know if you guys want to do it. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button down below, drop a like, and we will see you guys next time.